Well, hello everyone. How is it going tonight in your life? I am so excited about this show. My name's Dr. India White. Welcome to the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that whole doctor thing. So today, I hope you guys have had a great day. My day has been slamming awesome. I went and checked my mailbox, and lo and behold, my doctorate degree was in the mail. I was like, so the first thing I thought of, so today is September 10th. The first thing I thought of was my mom, because my mom told me on her deathbed when she was passing away of her battle with pancreatic cancer. She said to me, she said, India, promise me that you'll get your doctorate for me. And I said, okay, Mom, I'll do it. And so the whole unique thing about this is tomorrow it will make 4 years anniversary of her passing away, when we were all in the hospital, huddled up together. And if you guys have lost a parent, you know the tragedy in that. And believe me, I've shed my tears today. I've said my prayers. I'm so grateful for my mom. And so with that said, it just kind of made me think, I thought about my mom today, and I said, I'm so thankful for my mom that she gave birth to me, that she gave me a chance in life. And one thing I loved about my mom is, for one, she gave me my nickname, Indy. And then for two, she told me, she said, I'm naming you India because I love the country India, and the women there are so beautiful and so classy. And I was always like, wow, that's so true. And then when I went to college at University of Florida, I had the best friends ever, study friends that were from India. They came over from India, and they were engineers, heart surgeons, like amazing. And they would help me study math. And we had a blast. Like, I love my friends. If y'all are out there, Pradeep and some of you other guys, like, I love y'all. And I'm so grateful for them, because I don't know, y'all, if I would have graduated if they were in my life. They were just wonderful. They understood Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, Diffie Q, numbers and polynomials, abstract algebra, advanced calculus, and everything. And thank goodness for Dr. Wilson as well, who was an amazing math professor. Shout out to you, Dr. Wilson. Shout out to you, Dr. Berkovich, as well, if you're watching the show. But with that said, I love India, the country. I love India, of course, because it's my name, but I love the country, and I love the culture of India, and I love those who represent their country well. And so with that said, I'm going to bring on our show today a phenomenal rock star who is coming on our show from India today, in her country, in India. It's 5:30 in the morning. So she is a rock star in her own right. And so I want to bring on here for you guys, fashionista, entrepreneur, Dr. Akshata Prabu. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, how are you? A big namaste, a very warm namaste from India.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. This is so wonderful. I'm so glad you're streaming from India. This is so exciting to me. So our show, I have heard so much about you. We have all seen so much about you. I know that you were Miss International World India for 2019, 2020. That was recently. That is this year that you have been selected. So first, kudos to you. Congratulations. And I see that you have your crown. I'm so glad you wore your crown. And you have your sash. Show us your sash if you have it.
Really proud of my sash.
Yes. It's beautiful. So tell us a little bit of, like, can you show it up for us?
India.
That is so beautiful.
That's the most surreal feeling, to wear the name of your country on that sash. The feeling that it gives you, wow. It's I cannot describe it in words.
This is so beautiful. So I'm going to take you now back to even when you were a youth. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got on this journey as Miss International World India, fashion, and all the other pockets of expertise that you've been in. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question, Dr. India. I would want to take you and rather take myself back down the memory lane to when I was 18 years old. I'm 36 now, so I'm taking you exactly 18
Wow.
years back. I ventured into the glamour industry when I was 18. And
Okay.
I have to share a small anecdote with you. My mom always wanted me to be a glam queen, a model, an actress, and my father always wanted me to be the doctor, the intellectual type. And I was this obedient daughter that they had. And I said, hang on, I'll fulfill both your wishes.
Wow.
So I was always a good student, one of the toppers in class, and my marks were always great. So it was very justified for an Indian father to expect his daughter to choose such a stream, you know. And my mom she used to think that, you know, my daughter has that X factor in her. Of course, she has brains, but she has beauty, and she can be the epitome of beauty and brains. So she can go out there and conquer the world.
Wow.
And with my father's permission, initially he did not give me permission, but then we spoke, we negotiated, and he told me that I would want you to appear for your medical entrance exam, and if you qualify the entrance exam and if you secure a merit seat for yourself. Now, merit seat is somewhere you have to come in the top 100 rankings of the entire
Mhm.
state, etc. And if you secure a seat for yourself in one of the leading universities, I'll fund your first fashion portfolio. And just because I wanted my dad to fund my first fashion portfolio, I worked really hard and I made sure I secured that merit seat. And yes, there I was. I could choose medicine, dentistry, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, you name it, from all the medical streams. And I chose dentistry very willingly. So in India, there is an understanding that people who do not get a seat in the medical fraternity, in the medical career, in the medical stream, then they opt for dentistry. So dentistry comes kind of second in India, at least. But I am one of those who has given medicine a nice bye-bye and chosen dentistry as my first choice. So I'm very proud to
Nice.
be a dentist. And then I further on went on to specialize as a pediatric dentist. So I modeled for five
Wow.
years when I modeled for big brands like L'Oreal, Smirnoff, was on the cover pages of various newspapers and magazines
Wow.
like Times of India, Bombay Times, The Asian Age, and many more. So after 5 years of being in the glam industry, I really had to introspect and understand what my inner calling was. And honestly, I had fallen in love with serving people in the 5 years of dentistry that I was pursuing, and especially children. So hence,
Right.
I decided to say a bye to my glam career of 5 years, and then I decided to delve into pediatric dentistry. That's how I went ahead and did my master's in pediatric dentistry. Well, then just life just happened. I got busy with my master's. I found the love of my life. I got
Oh,
married to him. I had a beautiful baby, a daughter. And when I was in my motherhood journey, in fact, that motherhood journey gave me a big nudge. You know, of course, there was postpartum depression. I was undergoing postpartum depression for about 8 months. I had put on 20 kilos because of my hormonal complications, etc. And it was a very terrible state, and I wanted to find and rediscover myself. And yes, pageantry came to my rescue. I entered my national pageant, and I secured a spot there. And after winning the title and the crown there, I was chosen to represent India in Miss International World. And here I am today, right here in front of you. And yes, pageantry has given me this golden opportunity to interact with uh, personalities all over the world. And Dr. India,
wow.
I'm so pleased and honored to be speaking to you. And I tell you, it is this crown that has given me this opportunity. I'm so grateful to this crown and the title.
That is phenomenal. Oh my goodness. Like, you are a rock star, and I need everyone to understand what I mean by rock star. You guys see in front of you today a phenomenal success story here. I am
Thank
so
you.
proud of you and your accomplishments, Dr. Akshata. And let me tell you, so you mentioned going to school, you met the love of your life, you've had kids, and you still have been able to do all of this. What advice do you have for anyone that thinks, okay, I'm pretty, but I just can't really do anything else? Can I really start a business? Can I really, raise kids, or can I have a personality and thrive? What advice would you give to a young woman or a professional out there that might doubt themselves and they might think all they have is their looks?
So I relate to the situation that you've given me, Dr. India. In fact, I have tried to decode it because I also understand psychology and behavior a lot because of my master's, and because I've worked with my patients for about 10 plus years. And when I'm trying to design something about how to really tackle our mindset, etc., I have realized that there are two things that happen with us human beings, men or women. First is the self belief, the lack of self belief, which stems from within, where we don't value ourselves and we
Wow.
constantly keep doubting ourselves.
Wow.
Like you said, can I do this? Can I do that? Is that possible? Is that not possible? How is it possible? All these questions stem from within, and I would say that we become our own enemy. So that is the first checkpoint, I would say, where we need to stop questioning ourselves, stop doubting ourselves, but because honestly, the strength lies within you. There is nothing that you cannot accomplish on
Wow.
this planet Earth, is what I have grown to believe. And I would want to convey to all the people who are watching us today that you have to believe in yourself if you really want to realize your dreams.
Wow.
I often quote our ex-president of India and noted scientist APJ Abdul Kalam. Dreams are not the ones that you see when you're sleeping. Dreams are the ones that do not allow you to sleep. For example, today I'm not sleeping because it's been my dream to talk to Dr. India.
Oh, wow. That is so great. Oh, wow.
And
This
the
is
second
amazing.
point that I would want to emphasize on is, first point that I said, it stems from within, the lack of self
Right.
belief. The second point is, haters, naysayers, detractors. There are so many people who are going to come and tell you you can't have it all, or rather you cannot do it. Well, I just have one message to all of them, that just increase the horizon of your thinking, just broaden the horizon of your thinking, because if you decide to do something, it is definitely going to be possible. I decided to get into pageantry after becoming a mother, after being overweight with almost 50 pounds, and then coming back to what I was, battling the medical complications, and
Wow.
of course, the negativity that people
Yeah.
shower over you, which is really
Yeah.
unwanted, unwarranted, but you have to deal with it. When the strength that comes from within is your key, that's the key
Wow.
factor which is going to let you fight every obstacle, every challenge.
You know, and that's it. You have mastered the concept of grit. I speak about grit like nobody's business. I have the book right here. It's in my
Wow.
DNA. Grit. This book by Angela Duckworth is everything. Grit is key, and you have demonstrated an exemplary level of grit for all of us to learn from. And I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you've been able to kind of pour yourself into as a result of grit. Now, I know you are definitely the queen of pageantry, but you also are a CEO. You're an entrepreneur. And I don't think people know that. I think they just see that you're beautiful. And I mean, like my mom said, you Indian women are amazingly gorgeous. And I agree. And even just looking through your posts, I'm like, wow, this woman is gorgeous, but it's like, You're like, I'm not just gorgeous, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm educated. And so I want you to talk to us a little bit about your entrepreneur journey, if you may. Tell us about some of your businesses and the success of them, and how did you get started in all that?
Okay, so I would say that to start with, you spoke about how pretty I am and my beauty, etc. So of course, every woman loves to hear that, but sometimes the society kind of objectifies you and tries to capture you in that box that you're just beautiful, nothing else. Well, I have always been trying to break that mold, and I've been trying to convey that, listen, I'm beauty with brains. So I'm not
Yes.
just a bimbo or not a bimbette. I'm here to prove it that I enjoy equal cerebral opportunities as my male counterparts, and there is nothing that I cannot bring to the table when compared to them. So as the CEO,
Wow.
as an entrepreneur, if I'm trying to work on a venture, trying to build it, I give it my 100%, just like any other of my male counterparts would. So, coming to all the entrepreneurial ventures that I have been into, well, my first entrepreneurial venture was Magical Smiles for Kids. It's a chain of exclusive dental clinics that provides dental services and treatments to children from the age group of newborn to 14 years of age, especially because that's my specialty. And
And
I'm
where is
also
that?
that's in Mumbai, India, right
Okay.
here where I live.
Wonderful.
Yes. And I have a team of consultants that work under me where we can cater
Wow.
to multiple children at the same time with different centers located in Mumbai. So that was my first entrepreneurial venture. And that's because I have been always so close to children. I feel for them. And with me specializing in pediatrics, it was only necessary for me to extend my services, and we do a lot of philanthropic work also through our chains of dental clinics where we treat children from various socioeconomic strata, and we also render free services to blind patients, specially
Oh.
abled patients, where I have always felt a little more for them. And I think if I can extend my services to them free of cost, I I will be only showered with blessings, and that's all you need in life.
Yeah.
So apart from my
Beautiful.
first venture, which is Magical Smiles for Kids, which I just spoke about, my second entrepreneurial venture was Pedocyclopedia, which is a learning platform, a learning module, which allows budding dentists or general dentists to come across and hone their skills with respect to pediatric dentistry specifically. So me
Okay.
and my team of mentors, we train dentists so that there can be a
Wow.
pediatric dentist in every nook and corner of my country, because India is hugely populated. There's always going to be dearth of health professionals. So through
Mm-hmm.
my knowledge, through my experience, if I can train people so that they can render better services,
Wow.
especially to the child population, that's something that makes me happy from within. So everything that I've felt for, I've tried to convert it into my ventures, if you realize the way I'm
So,
speaking.
Dr. Akshata, the training modules, is that just for India? Is just for Indian doctors? Are you open to receiving clients from the United States and other parts of the globe, or is it just
Yeah,
right now focused on
absolutely.
India?
Absolutely, we would be open to receiving clients
Okay.
from overseas as well. But
Okay.
currently, we are concentrating on the Indian market. But yes, in the future, we will be open to expansion, like you said.
Okay.
And the third entrepreneurial venture that is very, very close to my heart, and I'm putting my heart and soul and working on it 24/7, is the International Glamour Project. It is India's biggest internationally associated pageant platform for teens, Miss and Mrs. So what I have done is, which is very unique to my country, it is a one of a kind platform. There is no other platform like this that exists in my country
Wow.
right now as we speak, which brings Miss Teen India, Miss India, and Mrs. India, all three on the same level, the same
Can
standard.
I come to my Miss India?
You're invited. You're invited. You can come and be the jury member. You can be
Thank
on the
you.
jury panel.
I'd love to. Continue. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
No, you're
So you bring
welcome.
them
You're
all
welcome.
in, and then what happens?
And this is a unique platform where the eligibility criteria is personality, style, and spark. It does not
Wow.
stem from age, waist size, height, body type, because I'm
Wow.
completely against objectifying women. And I feel when you have such criteria, you are trying to somewhere objectify women, because a woman who has substance, charisma cannot be under these barriers of age, of waist size, of body type. A woman who is glamorous from within, she needs that platform. And I'm trying to create that platform to empower women who want to
Wow.
break these stereotypes. And I really want to break that glass ceiling that exists.
That is so beautiful. Now, I know for me personally, I couldn't model because I was 5'6". I didn't make the cut. I mean, I wanted to model so bad. So I look up to you because I was too short. I was too short. And then, of course, life happened. I had 2 kids, and there you go. So I'm just kind of in that world of having the beauty from within. But, like, I think this is beautiful that you're talking about this, because there are many different windows and ceilings that we women face. You've got beautiful women that have hearts of gold and they're diamonds inside, but yet they don't look the part, and they need that opportunity to shine as well. So thank you so much for opening up your platform to every woman and not having any type of exclusions, because you will find there are going to be so many different diamonds and roses out there. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. Now, when does that begin? When is your next event going to take place with the International Glamour Project?
Well, we were supposed to have it a few months ago, but then because of the pandemic and lockdown, we had to postpone the event. So we are heading for a second spike here in India, as you must have noticed
Yeah,
in the news. So
yeah,
our government is waiting for things to settle down. Once things are back to normal, or I would say better than what they were, I think they will open it up for us, and they will allow us to hold gatherings and events. And as soon as they give me the go ahead, I'll be the first one to jump ahead and organize this beautiful grand show where I can see. So we have about 120 women
wow,
on our platform as we speak, across the three categories of Miss Teen India, Miss India, as well as Mrs. India, who come from all parts of the country. They are all national finalists, all India finalists.
wow. I'm just going to display that for everybody. That's powerful. And so,
Thank you.
what do you think that stemmed from? Like, did that stem from maybe your different competitions, your different modeling experiences, that you decided to do this from your heart? Like, talk to us about your experience being a model, having to be beautiful or fitting a standard or fitting those objections that you spoke about, and how that maybe even had some type of impact or tie into what you're doing now to pay it forward to these beautiful women.
So, Dr. India, when I was a model, and if I wasn't fitting the bill in terms of requirements, I didn't really care. I always had the attitude saying, buddy, it's your loss, not mine. You lost
Yeah,
out on a beautiful face. You lost out on a beautiful spokesmodel. You lost out on a beautiful personality. That's how I built up my confidence. So when
yeah,
I came on the other side of my pageantry career, and when I started researching, started delving more into pageantry, I realized that there is a lack of such a platform. And especially because I believe in empowering and uplifting women, I was like, what are you waiting for? If
right.
nobody's doing it, you should do it. So that
Wow.
was the inner
Wow.
voice.
Exactly. Now, um, even as because we'll talk about your other businesses in a little bit, but even as you were fitting the part, talk about how you overcame different mental blockages or different dieting requirements or working out or like so that you would fit the part. Because I mean, like, for example, Dr. Akshata, I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. I can't seem to lose 10 pounds. I'm trying. And it's like, I've got, it's a challenge. So I can only imagine you dealt with those 10 pounds. How do you deal with that? And how did you overcome weight challenges, emotional challenges, stereotypical challenges as you competed? And then tell us also, how did that pay off when you became Miss International World India?
Right. So I knocked off 50 pounds, not 10 pounds. So 50 pounds is a huge amount of fat that I lost.
Wow, that's phenomenal. How did you do it?
That's what pregnancy does to you at times, but I don't blame any of it. It's okay. It's your body, and your body has to adapt. And one thing that I kept telling myself is I don't have to rush into it. That's the first thing that I did. Just because people looked at me with different eyes, because I was a model before, I was always in great shape, always on the thinner side. And here I am after delivering a beautiful daughter. I am plus 50 pounds, like a completely transformed body. I took my own time to lose weight. That's one, because I did not want to lose the glow on my face, come what may. I know there's so many people who get into crash dieting because they come under pressure, societal pressure, peer pressure. So to all the women out there who are trying to lose weight, I would say that don't lose your mind. Lose weight, but don't lose your mind. And you should keep your goals, your targets, which are achievable. Don't try to jump to something just because there's no 30-second microwave thinking that's gonna work. Success doesn't come with the microwave thinking. I'm completely against that. Success comes with only hard work, perseverance, and persistence. And it also shows a lot of character when you've lost so many pounds by just, again, grit. Grit is a very important part of your weight loss journey. So that dedication, that determination, that focus is required. And I usually have these horse blinders, these mental blinders. I have to get to that. So when I was training for my pageant journey, of course, I had set goals for myself. I had my personal trainer, I had my dietitian, I had all of them helping me out. But ultimately, what I realized is, in the beginning, I used to cheat a lot. I used to bunk my gym classes. I used to binge on snacky foods, fried food, because I don't have a sweet tooth, but I love fried stuff. So French fries.
I know, right?
So I did all of that. It's human. It's human to cheat. But then in the end, you should know where you're heading and where your goal lies. And I did all of that. And yes, there were people who called me names, who said a lot of mean things, rude things, nasty things.
Yeah.
But I used that negativity to fuel me and my fire that was there inside.
Wow.
I had a goal, and I decided, come what may, let people speak whatever they want. I am going to focus on what I want to achieve. And today, when I've achieved what I set out for, those same people come back and laud me, and they want to be a part of my success today.
Yes.
It speaks volumes, and it allows me to judge them more than they haven't judged me.
That's why there's a scripture. I'm a Christian. There's a scripture in the Bible, and it talks about how like God hates high looks, and then it talks about how like God, he determines who he looks high, or he sits high and he looks low. He determines who he exalts, and he determines who he abases. And so sometimes people will give you that look like, you ain't nothing. And then all of a sudden, God just prepares this table for you in front of them and says, look at my creation, look at my daughter, look what I'm doing in her life, and so I feel like he's done that for you, so kudos to you. This is amazing. And so But you're right. Using the negativity to fuel your fire is everything, because when you are recycling that evil and you're using that negative energy for good, you can only receive good. You can only be blessed as a result. So I'm so happy that you elaborated on that point for our audience today. And so tell us about, your next business and how you were able to even use negativity to fuel that business. The next one that you are a part of as well.
Okay, so you're talking about the business, the business part that I'm yes. Okay, so in terms of my entrepreneurial venture, which is the International Glamour Project, well, with the business venture also, I did receive a little bit of criticism when I set out to build my venture, because people said, "Oh, you're a pediatric dentist. Or are you going to give up your career? Are you going to give up your practice? What about the 8 years of teaching experience that you have, the 10 years of clinical practice that you have? It's going to go down the drain." And to all of them, I just turned a deaf ear and I said that I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And Dr. India, you know what? We are in this pandemic zone. The same people who mocked me have been sitting at home since the past 6 months because they've
Wow.
not been able to practice. And I have been able to work on my platform,
Wow.
build my platform, build the venture, and
That's
trying
powerful.
to spread that positivity. So, moral of the story is, if you are sure of what you want in life, what you want to do, if you have belief in what you have set out to do, to achieve, there is no one. There is no one who can stop you.
Wow.
And with respect to my temperament, when people come back and tell me, what, you can't do it, I love that, because I go around and show it to them. I just did it.
Wow, that's powerful. So it's like you need to write a book about success.
Secret, I'm already writing one.
I'm gonna bird that in you. I'm just gonna put that in you. If you need help with like publishing or whatever, you let me know. But you need to write a book because you have success. We need to hear more from you, for real. Like, I mean, it's like everything you put your hands to succeed, you've excelled. So we need your greatness. We need it in a book. So now I know you also spoke about so you've spoken about the Magic Smiles kids in India. Did you speak about pedocyclopedia? Because I want to hear more about that.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I spoke about
it. Is there anything else that you might have cooking, that you're excited about that's going to come up? Because I'm going to dive into another topic in a little bit, but I want to just kind of hone in on this whole entrepreneur, because you are a queen in your own right in entrepreneurship. So I want to highlight anything else that, you've been able to really kind of excel in as far as entrepreneurship, and any advice you'd have for those that are desiring to become an entrepreneur and they just don't know how to get started.
Right. So my only tip and message to anyone who's thinking of becoming an entrepreneur is something where try to pick up a subject which is close to your heart, and don't choose something which your peers are doing just because you want to go with the flow. There's no herd mentality following when it comes to entrepreneurship, because it is your entrepreneurial venture. The profits that you make, the losses that you bear, it's all going to stem down to the why. Why did you start that venture? So if your why is very clear, if your why is very strong, your entrepreneurial venture can never fail. That's the first step that I would want to give. And secondly, as women, as empowering women, as empowered women, we got to send out a message to all the women out there that each one of you needs to be financially stable and financially independent. For years, I have seen my mother or her mother depending on the patriarchal members, the male members of the family. It's time that we become independent with respect to not only our opinions, the way we think, but also our finances. So, very, very important.
And the thing is, I'm so happy you said this, because we live in a culture, especially, there's different types of women. There are different classes of women. Certain women feel like I am nothing unless I have a husband, and my husband does 100% of providing. Listen, I respect you, lady, 100%. I do. But there is nothing like being able to come alongside your man and say, baby, I know you got it together, but I got some too. And we can grow together. We can build together because, I mean, you never know. God forbid, what if something happened to your husband and now he's relying on you, to provide? What if what if he doesn't have extended family and you have to just be there to pull, the reins together and help support your family? And I think a lot of women in our society, in particular, are starting to get that point, and that's why a lot of marriages you'll see, they kind of split bills, or they figure out that because they know now. I mean, we're living in different times. We're no longer in the 1940s. Like now,
Yes.
we are living at a time. 2020 is very demanding, and with COVID, we've seen businesses shut down. So, like you said, we've seen practices shut down. We've seen teachers get shut down. We've seen so many people that thought they were going to be stable, they're losing it, and it's not their fault. It's just society. So now what? So I'm so happy you said that. And these women might be afraid, though, Dr. Akshata, to become financially independent. They might not feel like they have what it takes, or they might feel that there's a fear of failure and a fear of success. What do you have to say? How could you impart hope into these women that might have a fear of success or fear of being financially independent?
Well, to this, Dr. India, I would say that if you allow fear to germinate inside yourself, it's going to branch out into various branches and shoots. So don't allow that. That's the first mistake that we women make, where we say that, there's going to be fear of failure, fear of unknown, fear of, whether my venture will be successful or not successful. And like, I'm going back to my previous answer where I said, if your why is very strong, why do you want to start this venture? Again, if your why is very strong, your venture can't fail. And bringing back to the topic of the husbands that you mentioned, it is very, very accepting in today's age to have a very strong wife with an equally strong husband who can run a very strong family. And we women have another responsibility, especially the ones who have children. Like, I want to be the perfect role model for my child, my daughter. I want her to look up to me, and when she grows up, she's going to be telling her friends and her peers that, yes, I saw my mom. She was a working mom, and she gave me enough love. She also helped me with my homework, but she was also there talking to Dr. India, giving interviews, wearing the crown, walking the red carpet. She could do everything. So I want to kind of give out that message to my kid, that you can do it all. There is nothing impossible. And I would say we women, we're gifted, the multitasking, everything is possible with the multiple facets that are attached to our personalities and the multiple things that we can do. Like, I sometimes I'm checking things on my phone, and with the other hand, I'm cooking.
That's
and then
right.
I just look at myself, and then I said, how's that possible? I'm not supposed to be ambidextrous, right? But somewhere it just happens. I don't know how.
That's so phenomenal. So you're talking about multitasking. So I want to highlight, some other areas of your life. I know you're a wonderful wife. Talk about your boo or your husband and your family. Like, tell us about your love story, because the first thing I'm thinking is you are the successful medical success. Like, you're a doctor, you're an entrepreneur for businesses, successful businesses where you're training people, you've got results. And then you're also a husband and a wife and a mom, excuse me. Talk to us. How did this love story start? How did he chase you down? Like, how did this begin?
Well, we met in our dental school in our university, and he's also a doctor. He's a periodontal and an implant surgeon, and I'm a pediatric dentist. So yeah, that's the combination of the husband and wife that we have. And more than that, I think that's the least common part in our personalities in our life. The one common part that we share is both of us want to follow our passion, and we want to follow our heart. If there is anything that is going against our inner self, our work ethics, our passion, we'll stray away. You know, even if it means like losing out on a huge financial opportunity and a very stable job, we both of us will give it up because it does not comply with what I call is passion. And right now,
Wow.
the International Glamour project that I'm speaking to you about, I may be the CEO, but my husband is also the MD of the venture, and the entire platform is under our event management company, which is called Dynamic Sports and Event Management Company. So my husband is very much an integral part of all the activities that we do, because yes, we also organize a lot of sporting events, marathons, etc. And he has a sports background, an exemplary sports background. He's an international athlete, he's an Ironman, so he takes enough pride and pleasure in organizing sporting events, entertainment events, and yes, now he has pageantry to his kitty. So we're just growing. We're just growing.
I mean, you're working on dental stuff. He's working on Iron Man. Like, how did this become like? This is so neat. Like, how did he get into being an Iron Man and all these different facets of y'all's lives? Like, how are you able to combine all this to make it so beautiful?
So what we've done, Dr. India, is of course we have our educational qualifications, but both of us realized that there was a recreational and a creative side that you had to keep alive, because that's what is
Right.
going to keep you going for long. And I found my creative side in pageantry, and he found his creative side in sports and Ironman. He's always been one of the national champion swimmers and a chess champion. He's a super randoner in terms of cycling is concerned. But when it came to athletics, that is something that he had not tried. He trained for it,
Wow.
got into it, and now he's an international athlete and he loves being the
That is
Ironman. He's competed in 3 international championships, one in
wow.
Texas in United States, the other one in UAE in Dubai, and the third one in India. And right now, as we speak, he's training for his 4th Ironman championship, which will be held in South Africa in
Nice.
2021. So we keep
Nice.
our spirits alive because of the creative side that we've been able to explore.
This is beautiful. So, I mean, what advice did you give to successful couples that, she's got a couple of businesses, he has a couple of businesses. How do we work out family time? You guys have a daughter, right? How do you work out family time? How do you work out date night? How do you work out business success? Like, do you do it together? Do you have a Google Calendar? Like, what do you guys do?
So, I have to say that in India, we have a very close-knit family here. So, my parents and my in-laws, they really form a huge support system. And they
Beautiful.
take care of my daughter whenever we are on those date nights. So, yes, we really depend on our extended family to come forward and participate. So it's not only us who's doing the parenting, but there's also a lot of grandparenting happening with respect to my daughter. And I have been raised by my grandparents because my parents were working, when I was a kid. So I know the kind of values that they instill in their grandchild. So I have always been a supporter of grandparenting with parenting. So yes, I do. I'm fortunate enough to have my parents as well as my parents-in-law who come forward and take care of my daughter whenever I'm going for a lecture. I'm speaking on some podium. My husband is training for his championship, and one of us, we're always trying to be there for our daughter. But just in case both of us are busy, then our parents always chip in.
That's beautiful. This is very interesting to me because I was always under the impression that grandparents raising the child, like over here at least, in my experience, it's been frowned upon because the parents aren't there. The mom and dad are, missing or da da da. But you have said something that I think could even heal a lot of problems in American society, to have grandparents and parents on board to raise children, to have an actual tribe within your family and within the community to raise a child. And I think that, when we shift our focus towards having a village support or actual complete family, like tribe support, like I said, come together, that's what's really going to kind of fill in those missing gaps or those emotional issues or children feeling like they can't be successful. So tell me about the influence of your grandparents and maybe some of the advice they gave you when you were growing up and how that impacted you and your success today.
My grandparents definitely instilled a whole lot of values in me when I was spending time with them. And today, when I can do all these things that you just enumerated and that hardworking nature that I have, it actually stems from the values that my grandparents gave me. I'm a workaholic, that's kind of my temperament. But that was kind of inculcated in me by my grandparents, because my grandparents were equally hardworking, and
Right.
they believed that when you work hard, success just comes to you. And by seeing them, by observing them, somewhere as a kid I learned. And I always had working parents as well. So yes, they were very broad-minded as well as hardworking. So it just runs in the family. It just
Yeah.
comes from your blood, your genes, whatever you may call it. And all these points that we're discussing, they really form your work ethics, knowingly, unknowingly, subconsciously.
Yeah.
It has kind of created a nice home within you, and then you start building your life on those principles.
Wow.
So I definitely attribute everything that I'm doing today to the upbringing that I have received from my parents as well as grandparents.
That's the key. That's the key to all the brokenness that we see in the world, is who is raising you, and how are they doing it? And I think that we need some training. we need some help with that in certain communities, because you guys have done it right. I mean, that's all I can say. You did it right. So kudos to you. I commend you 100%. And I know your daughter is going to be amazingly successful as well, because she's going to fill your shoes, which will be a little hard to fill, but I'm sure you're going to give her some techniques to fill them. So she will be me, I'm sure. I'm sure she's going to do a phenomenal job. So thank you for sharing that.
Think of filling into Elsa's shoes. Elsa is her favorite cartoon character. And she wants her 5th birthday to be the Elsa themed birthday.
So she does she know her aspirations yet? Does she say what she wants to be when she grows up yet?
She wants to be a scientist. She wants to be a pageant queen. She wants to be something like a swimmer, because she's seen her father do that in his Iron Man pictures. And she wants to become a mother.
Oh, wow.
And that came to me as a surprise. And she just looked at me one day and said, "Mama, I want to be like you." I said, "Okay, you want to be like me as in the crown, the queen?" She's like, "No, I want to be a mother." And I said, whoa, where did that come from? So that's what I'm saying. We don't need to teach them things, but they kind of pick up. So yeah, and I'm grateful. Somewhere I've done my job a little correctly, I would say, where she has an aspiration of nurturing another offspring when she grows up.
That's so beautiful. Wow. And how did she feel when she first saw your crown and sash? What did she say? What did your family say? How was that moment?
When she saw my crown and sash for the first time, she just went, wow. And the next thing that she said is, when is it my turn? When am I going to be walking that ramp with my crown? And I was like, whoa, what have I done to my... And she was 3.5 years old when I won my first title and my crown.
Wow.
Like, what have I done to my 3.5-year-old? And I just looked at myself and said, maybe I've given her bigger goals. Where at the age of 3.5 and 4, she aspires to wear a crown and a sash. And I said, okay, maybe I'll have to really start looking for a pageant for her very soon.
Yeah. Well, and I wish you the best. I'm sure you're going to plug her right in, and she's going to be phenomenal. So that is going to be beautiful. Make sure you show us pictures. So
thank you. Yes, I will.
And so, with that said, the one thing that keeps coming to me is your work-life balance. And people are going to want to know, realistically speaking, what is the work-life balance advice that you have for women that just aspire to be a little bit like you?
No, in fact, Dr. India, I would say all the women who are watching us can be like me as well as you. The only thing that we need is a little bit of organization and management in our
Yes.
life. These are the two words I would use. Like, I would give you my personal experience. When I wake up in the morning, I have a checklist in my mind: one, two, three, four, five, six. And I know that before I retire in the night, before I go to sleep, I have to finish all those. And that checklist has everything, right from my kids' dance class to her homework to my meetings with my entire team
Yeah.
to speaking to a new partner coming on board. It could be varied amount of decisions that I'm taking in the day, but I give them equal importance. For example, my child's friend's birthday party is equivalent to a boardroom meeting that I have.
Right.
I would not differentiate between the two. Both of them are equally important for me.
Wow.
So if we try to organize our life like this and manage it, then I don't think anything is impossible. And you can be a great
Wow.
mother, you can be a great
Wow.
entrepreneur, you can be a leader in your life. So organization and management.
Wow. Thank you so much for that advice. And that leads me to the next question. So you have definitely done that successfully. And that leads me to the event that's happening with the 100 Successful Women in Business that is around the corner. Talk to us about your involvement in the 100 Successful Women in Business with Mr. Al Otero and Maria and just all the phenomenal and you've got just so many rock stars. Angela on the team. Talk to us about your involvement there. How did that blossom? Talk to
Yes,
us.
yes, definitely. Well, I have to say, Angela has been my angel. The moment
Oh,
since I have really come in contact with her, I have felt so empowered. And, the tagline of the Miss International World pageant says that, our crowns empower you. She has truly empowered me. Of course,
yeah,
I had that confidence inside me, but, the encouragement that I have received from Angela is at next level, where she encourages me to do more and more things and think out of the box. And that's what I
yeah.
love about her. So I'm really
Wow,
fortunate and grateful to have such a mentor like Angela. And she was the one who
wow.
introduced me to Al and Maria, and both of them beautiful
Yes,
souls, beautiful human beings. And yes, as we exchanged our profiles and we learned more about it, I learned about the 100 successful women in business. And in fact, when they saw my entire profile, they also chose me to be a recipient for the award. So I'm going to be receiving the award on
congratulations.
19th September. And I'm really grateful for that. And that is something that I'm really excited about. Plus,
Yes,
now with the International Glamour Project being my venture, I have gone one step ahead and tried to involve the entrepreneurial part in it, where I'm launching my new entrepreneurial venture, which is TIGP. It's going to be an
wow,
e-commerce platform, and we've got into the manufacturing of international pageant heels and shoes. So the shoes
wow.
that really would adorn the beauty contestants' feet, the speakers' feet, the high fashion models' feet, would give them the kind of elegance, grace, comfort to
Beautiful.
stand for hours together, give you that beautiful torso, that personality. That's what the TIGP International Pageant
There's
Heels are all about.
there's nothing like that you walk and you've got
Yes,
the rise in your heel.
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I mean, and how did you come up with this? Because like, I mean, it's just beautiful. All these different areas of focus. You've done pediatrician, you've done other different entrepreneurship, and now you're working on the soles of women's feet. What question? When did that dawn on you? Was it during a pageantry? Was it were you like, this is so uncomfortable? We got to get something. I was like, how did this become about?
After my journey in pageantry, I did realize that we pageant queens have to stand for hours, hours, and yet maintain that grace, that elegance. You can't slouch. You have to have, and you want to stand like a queen, You want your
Yes,
personality to be showcased that way. There's paparazzi, there's some media person interviewing you. You want to look your best. And
exactly.
of course, the crown is making you look great. Of course, your gown is making you look great with your makeup, but you need a solid foundation out there.
Right.
And the solid foundation only comes from the perfect shoes. And that is why I collaborated
Wow.
with one of the celebrity designers, shoe designers that we have in India. And we've gone one step ahead, and we customize them with respect to your breadth of your foot, the length of your foot. So it's not the routine sizes that you would, the UK size or the USA size that you would get in the
Yeah.
store. We have skilled craftsmen who actually hand make them. So they're that customized.
Now, question: are women in the United States and in other parts of the nation able to get these shoes as well? Are these
Of
comfortable?
course.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We
How
will
can
be
we
able
find out
to ship
information?
them all over. We will be able to ship them all over the world, and we will be soon launching it on 19th September on our website. So I'll
So
share our website details with you.
yes, what's the website?
www.theinternationalglamourproject.com.
I'm just getting it in here for all you ladies. This is amazing. Wow. So women, here is a awesome opportunity for whenever you are sitting there and your heels are killing you. You now have an answer here. Go to this website here, guys, the International Project, internationalglamourproject.com, and get your comfortable sole padding and whatever else that you need for your foot. and I have a question for you too. I see you as a speaker as well. Like, I mean, I know I've done motivational speaking, but I'm just all about helping you just launch you right now. You need to be doing like motivational speaking. I don't know if you're speaking on college platforms, if you're speaking to the women in India, like, I don't know, but I just want to give you that seat as well and say, like, what have you done already in that field as far as like just sharing your story and your success and being a speaker and motivating those young girls out there? What do you have to say for that?
So I have been a professional speaker in India since 2014, but that was
Wow.
restricted to me speaking only about my specialty. In
Okay.
fact, I myself didn't know that I'm such a great speaker. I would say, sometimes we women don't realize the talents that are hidden inside us.
Yes.
And it is with my journey in pageantry that I realized that there is much more to offer, which is there inside me. So yes, that is why I started writing the book, which started writing in the beginning of 2020, and I'm
Nice.
still authoring it. It'll take me maybe another year because you've been an author. It takes a really long time to put in your 200%, not
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
And yes, when it comes to speaking, yes, I love speaking, and I do end up motivating. Well, because that's not my genre. I would say it has not been my genre so far. But what I have noticed is I know how to tackle the mindset. I know how to evaluate behavior, psychology. I understand the psyche of human mind. And yes, I try to combine everything, my expertise, my knowledge, and my speaking ability. And I try to benefit, I try to uplift people, I try to reach as many people as I can.
That's beautiful. And so with that said, how can we connect with you in the future? I know people are going to want to maybe email you or follow you on like social media. So Dr. Akshata, how can we reach out to you for future, if we need to get some, we want to do something with the Glamour Project, we want to come alongside you and support. What's your contact information?
So my email ID is chief, CHIEF, chief@theinternationalglamourproject.com. You can write to me, you can discuss whatever you want with me. If you need any guidance from me, I would be more than willing to support. You can write to me on this email ID. Plus, I'm available on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So my Instagram ID is Akshata Prabu _official. AKSHATA PRABHU _official. OFFICIAL.
Now, PRABHU or
PRABHU.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. And that's
that's my Instagram ID. My Facebook profile is Akshata Prabu Puranik, which you've named me as, AKSHATA PRABHU PURANIK. That's my Facebook profile wall that you could find me on. And I have an official business page, which is a Facebook page, which is Akshata Prabu.
Did I spell it right? Please forgive me if I did not.
Yes. It's no, the Puranik spelling is wrong. PURANIK.
Okay. I apologize. Let me fix it.
No problem. And
NIK.
all of you can find us on the International Glamour Project, which is the Facebook page of the pageant platform. So if anybody has a query, they could write into the International Glamour Project.
Okay, I'm just typing it in. All right. Awesome sauce. Now, are there any websites or anything that you wanted to leave us with as well?
Yes, www.theinternationalglamourproject.com. That's our official website.
Okay.
www.theinternationalglamourproject.com.
This is great. Okay.
And very soon, Dr. India, we will be also opening the International Glamour Project for non-Indian delegates.
Okay.
So all international and overseas delegates also will be open to the International Glamour Project platform.
Wonderful. Yay. Miss India might show up.
I love your name.
Thank you. So this has been phenomenal. Dr. Akshata, thank you so much for being you and for all that you've contributed to the world. We need your example. We need your voice. We need your beauty. And I wish you nothing but the best in all of your entrepreneurial work and in the efforts of your studies and how you're going to pay for it with that, what you're doing for the blind, what you're doing for children. I wish you the best, nothing but blessings for you and your husband and your little beautiful little queen at home. And with that said, thanks so much for being a part of the Real Talk Show. We will definitely be in touch. You guys, this has been a phenomenal show. Please make sure you reach out to Dr. Akshata if you want to get involved with any of these things. You will also see her this September, right, for the 100 Successful Women in Business. So definitely, just stay tuned, guys. This has been a phenomenal show. But with that said, it's time to go. You guys have a wonderful night. Welcome again. Thank you. I will see you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you so
see you,
much,
Dr. Akshata. You're
Take
welcome.
care. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
My pleasure. This is my pleasure.
Yes.